Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something pretty bold, you might say.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at a roadmap that claims to take someone from 0 to 1 crore in just 150 days.
Yeah, it's ambitious.
Our mission today is to really dig into this plan, pull out the key bits, the actionable stuff, and basically give you a shortcut to understanding how this whole thing is supposed to work.
Exactly. Our main source here is this document, 0 to 1 crore, the 150-day roadmap. And we're going to unpack, the main goal, how it's structured, which is quite interesting, and the actual strategies phase by phase. The idea is for you listening to get a handle on not just what the plan is, but how it's actually designed to get results, real results.
Which brings us straight to the big question, doesn't it? Is it actually possible? 1 crore rupees, which is what, about 120,000 US dollars?
Roughly, yeah.
In 150 days, using things like freelancing, digital products, building a personal brand online, it sounds. Well, let's see how they propose to make it happen. So let's start with the basics. The core objective, it's right there in the title. 0 to 1 crore rupees in revenue, 150 days flat. And it's specific about how focusing purely on digital income. So freelancing, selling digital stuff, offering services, creating content, building that personal brand.
Right, and the structure is key here, I think. It's broken down into 10 phases.
10 phases. Okay.
Yeah, each one is designed for 15 days of focused work.
Yeah.
So 10 times 15, 150 days total.
Ah, okay. That makes sense. It breaks that huge number down.
Exactly. It turns this massive, overwhelming goal into smaller, manageable chunks. You just focus on the next 15 days, right?
Yeah.
Makes it feel less daunting.
All right, so let's jump into phase 1 then, days 1 to 15. Learn a high-income skill. This seems foundational, getting a skill you can actually sell and doing it fast. They mention things like copywriting, digital marketing, video editing.
Yeah. Web design, social media management, the usual suspects maybe, but the emphasis is on speed.
So how do they suggest doing that fast?
Well, the interesting part is the approach. It pushes you towards free or, really quick learning resources first.
Okay.
Then, crucially, move straight into practice. Build a portfolio, even a small one. Get client ready ASAP.
So less theory, more doing.
Exactly. It ties into ideas like, skills beat degrees in 2025, and it offers this sort of mini guide on how to learn a high-income skill in 15 days. It's all about rapid application, not getting bogged down in endless learning.
Okay, skill acquired, or at least started. Phase 2, days 16 to 30 is land your first client or make first sale.
The moment of truth.
This is where the rubber meets the road, right? Starting to actually earn. So what are the tactics here?
The roadmap suggests a few paths. Leveraging freelance platforms, think Fiverr, Upwork,
Right?
but also using targeted DM outreach, like sliding into potential clients' DMs effectively. And interestingly, creating simple digital products early on, like an ebook or a Notion template.
A Notion template. Okay, so really low barrier to entry stuff.
Precisely. It highlights this concept of a minimum viable offer.
Right, I've heard that. Just get something out.
Yet, don't aim for perfection straight away.
Yeah.
Get the simplest version of your service or product out there. Test the waters. The focus is really on that first small win. Even if it's just, like the source says, selling your first Euro 199 product online, that's barely over $2.
Wow, okay. But it builds confidence.
Huge confidence booster. And momentum. It proves to you that the model can work, that you can actually make money online.
Okay, so you've made your first sale, got that tiny win. Phase 3, days 31 to 45 is build consistency. The goal here jumps up to making 30,000 to 50,000 a month, so roughly 360 to 600 US dollars.
That's the target for this phase, yeah.
The focus shifts to consistency, building habits. What's the big challenge here that the roadmap tackles?
Well, it directly addressed that point where many people apparently give up, why most people quit after the first 10K.
Ah, okay, so it's about sustainability.
Exactly. Turning those first few wins into something predictable. The strategies are about niching down your offer.
Getting more specific.
Yeah, so you attract the right clients more easily. And, really importantly, focusing on client retention. Keeping the clients you have.
Which is usually easier than finding new ones.
Much easier. It links to this idea of systems over hustle. Building repeatable processes, not just relying on sheer effort every single day. Discipline over just grinding.
Okay, consistency established. Phase 4, days 46 to 60. Build personal brand and authority.
Right. Time to stand out.
This is about getting known, attracting people to you, right? Inbound leads. Platforms mentioned are Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube.
Yep. And the core idea here is a bit different, maybe. It's about showing proof.
Proof of work. Testimonials.
That, but also just sharing your journey. being transparent, creating content that builds trust, not just sells.
So less buy my stuff and more, here's what I'm learning.
Kind of. It brings up this concept, document, don't create.
Document, don't create. How's that a shortcut?
Well, the roadmap frames it as using your own progress, your own learning, your challenges as your content.
So you're not constantly trying to invent new topics.
Exactly. You just share what you're doing, what's working, what's not. It feels authentic, apparently builds trust faster, and leads to those inbound inquiries without the pressure of being a full-time creator.
Interesting take. Okay, moving on. Phase 5, days 61 to 75. Offer premium services.
Now we're talking bigger numbers.
Yeah, the goal here is shifting from maybe 5,000 clients, about $60, to 50,000 plus clients, $600 or more. That's a significant jump.
It is, and this is where the income potential really starts to scale according to the plan.
How does it help people get comfortable charging that much more? That's often a big mental block, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. The roadmap tackles it head on. It details strategies for high-ticket freelancing, one-on-one consulting, or these done-for-you service packages.
Right.
And it emphasizes having a solid framework for sales calls, specific pricing strategies, and this thing called value stacking.
Value stacking. What's that?
It's basically bundling multiple benefits, deliverables, or features together to clearly justify the higher price point, showing overwhelming value.
Oh.
The aim is literally to help you, as the source says, charge 50K plus without feeling guilty, because you understand and can articulate the value you provide.
Makes sense. Now, phase 6, days 76 to 90, automate and delegate.
The scaling phase, working smarter, not harder.
The dream, right? Work less, earn more. How does it suggest doing that?
It gets practical. It talks about hiring help, virtual assistants, editors, designers.
Okay, building a team.
Micro team, maybe. And setting up SOPs, standard operating procedures.
Documented processes.
Exactly. So things run smoothly, consistently, even when you're not doing them yourself. The idea is to train yourself to only focus on the highest leverage tasks, the things only you can do.
So moving from being the doer to being the owner.
Precisely. It outlines that path from solo hustler to systemized business and gives tips on how to build a micro team that runs your business. It's about creating leverage.
Okay, leveraging time. Now, phase 7, days 91 to 105. Start running ads plus build funnels.
Right, time to pour some fuel on the fire.
This is about reaching way more people, converting them faster.
That's the goal. It discusses using paid ads, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube ads specifically.
Okay.
And building effective conversion funnels.
Yeah?
It lays out the basic structure, a landing page to capture attention,
Yep.
a lead magnet like a free guide or checklist to get their email,
Got it.
which then leads to your offer.
The standard funnel. But does it offer any unique insights?
Well, one fascinating bit is a sort of case study or guide titled Making 1 lakh from a 99 offer.
Wait, making about $1,200 from a product that costs just over $1.
Yeah, through smart funnels, upsells, and understand the lifetime value of a customer, it shows the power of scale you can achieve once you have ads and funnels working together.
That's pretty compelling. Okay, phase 8, days 106 to 120, add multiple income streams.
Diversification. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
So moving beyond just that one core service or product.
Exactly. Building parallel revenue sources. It gives examples like affiliate marketing promoting other people's products, creating more digital products, maybe building on your first simple one, and potentially launching a community or a subscription model for recurring revenue.
Recurring revenue, the holy grail for many.
It connects to this idea of product stacking, having offers at different price points, and finding passive income streams that actually work, though passive often still requires upfront work. Right?
Always does. But yeah, building a more resilient financial base.
That's the idea, reducing dependency on any single thing.
Okay, we're getting near the end. Phase 9, days 121 to 135. Mindset and productivity mastery.
The inner game.
It's interesting this comes so late in the plan, not right at the start.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Maybe it suggests that these issues become even more critical when you're trying to sustain and scale at this level.
Could be. So what does it cover?
It focuses on building resilience, maintaining focus, and practical stuff too, handling burnout, which is almost inevitable at this pace.
Definitely.
Dealing with comparisonitis, seeing others online, and overcoming creative blocks.
All very real challenges.
Totally. It brings in concepts like a money mindset makeover and specific productivity hacks for solopreneurs. The question it implicitly asks you, the listener, is how these tools empower you to beat self-doubt, and keep moving, because the mental game is just as vital as the strategy.
Absolutely. And finally, phase 10, days 136 to 150. Optimize, track, and scale.
Wrapping it up and looking ahead.
So this is about locking in the progress towards that 1 crore goal and planning what comes next.
Pretty much. The final steps involve really reviewing your numbers. What actually worked, what didn't, getting clear on the revenue breakdown.
Data-driven decisions.
Then considering the practicalities, taxes, compliance, maybe refining your team structure if you built one, and crucially, thinking bigger, planning 10x from here.
Whoa. Okay, so the 1 crore isn't the end goal, it's a stepping stone.
That seems to be the implication. Solidify what you've built in the 150 days, learn from it, and then use that as a foundation for much bigger growth.
Now, it's not just these 10 phases, is it? The source material mentions other supporting bits.
That's right. There's bonus content mentioned, like interviews with people who've actually built 7-figure businesses or freelance careers.
Learn from those already there.
Exactly. Listener Q&A sessions too. And things like weekly challenges, small, actionable tasks like make 10K in 7 days.
Keeps the momentum going.
And even a Mistakes I Made series, which is always valuable. Learning from others' bumps in the road.
Yeah, definitely.
And one more thing, the tools. It doesn't just talk strategy. It names specific, often free or low-cost tools.
Like what?
Notion or Trello for project tracking, Canva or CapCut for creating content, Gumroad or Stripe for selling digital products, Google Sheets for basic money management, even ChatGPT for help with copyright.
Okay, so really practical, down-to-earth recommendations.
Yeah, it makes the whole plan feel much more actionable. It shows you the instruments you'd actually use to follow the map.
So let's pull this all together. What does this deep dive really show us? What does it mean for you listening?
Well, I think it reveals this incredibly detailed, almost surprisingly structured blueprint for a really big financial goal.
It's not just vague advice.
Not at all. It's a step-by-step journey. It's designed really as a shortcut to getting informed about one very specific, very ambitious path. It demands a lot of focus, clearly.
Boy, 150 days is intense.
But it does break that massive target down into daily and weekly actions that feel individually more achievable.
Right. Connecting that to the bigger picture, it kind of demonstrates that even these huge, maybe seemingly impossible income goals can be deconstructed.
The strength of this particular roadmap seems to lie in those explicit phases, the tangible mini-goals for each 15-day block, and that clear progression.
Yeah, from just getting a skill
to making that first tiny sale.
Then consistency, branding,
scaling with premium offers, delegation, ads.
Diversifying income mindset.
And finally, optimizing and planning for what's next. It's less of a magic trick and more like setting up a series of dominoes carefully so they fall in the right sequence.
Okay, so as we wrap up our deep dive into this 0 to 1 crore, the 150-day roadmap, what's the core takeaway?
For me, it's that this presents a highly structured path. It's a marriage of acquiring high-income skills, executing specific strategies, building a personal brand, and implementing systems. It's a testament to what extreme focus combined with a clear plan might achieve.
Yeah. It's still a huge undertaking.
Absolutely. Which leads to maybe the most important question for you listening right now. Forget the full 1 crore for a moment. What single phase, or even just one idea from this 150-day roadmap resonates most with where you are right now?
Good question.
And based on that one insight, what's one small actionable step you could realistically take? Maybe not today, but this week.
Yeah, what's your next meaningful move, even if it's not trying to do the whole thing in 150 days?
Exactly.
Because as the source material itself apparently reminds people, you don't need anyone's permission to succeed. You just need a plan and action. You've got the insights from this deep dive now. The key is to make them count somehow.